Hi there. Today Susie is going to talk about receiving parcels via Australia Post or via courier services. Now, from my own experience, I would like to talk about some of the best ways of receiving some of these parcels via Australia Post. As you know, Australia Post do guarantee the world how quickly they can get you parcel within the metro service areas like the Melbourne City or the Sydney City or Brisbane, all the major city centres. It's supposed to be the next day delivery, but usually that doesn't happen. You might get it 2 to 3 days later. So there is, of course, there's a guarantee, but there is no guarantee. But if you know the guaranteed services area, if it does say metro next day delivery, you can actually go and question the Australia Post. Just ring them up and give your TN details, and if you haven't received in the metro area the next day, you can literally get your money back on the postal. Now, in front of me today has been a greatest day of my life, receiving 2 parcels from my very best swappers that I swapped last week with them, and this week on Monday and Tuesday, because we had a holiday on Monday, so one got posted on a Tuesday. I have received a parcel today, being a Wednesday, so Australia Post did a good delivery, the next day delivery in the metro area, which is the next day delivery. So it is just beautiful to receive such parcels from people. And here, this particular one actually came from Queensland, and the swapper, the person that posted it, was on a Monday, because in Queensland there's no holiday on a Monday. We did have here in Victoria the Queen's birthday holiday, and he posted it out on a Monday, and I have received it on a Wednesday. So I believe possibly I should have received it yesterday, being a Tuesday, but I received it today, being a Wednesday. So I'll just question, I will tell the person who said to me to ring Australia Post and see what their guaranteed service areas are, and he would definitely get his money back if he plays his cards right. Apart from getting your parcel, don't forget always, if it's a live plants, like these particular ones are live plants, try to do express post. This is how it comes in express post bags. And you put it in a box like this particular person has, and this is exactly how I do my things. And it's good to see that some of the swappers do exactly how I like receiving my plants. And when you do it properly, none of your plants will die or will have, dead leaves. They will be a lot more brighter, like in this particular case. Most of these plants look as if they have been picked today. And this is how I like to receive my plants, not half dead, not leaves already got all wrinkly or nearly dead. And it's always nice to see how I receive the plants. This is just beautiful. It looks fresh as a daisy. And the way the swapper has also put a naming stick. Inside is a naming stick, as you can see, a white naming stick, and he has covered it with a plastic rubber band around it. Similarly is how I do it, but obviously I do it in a glad wrap, and I'll just glad wrap it and then have my naming tag with rubber band around it. So it doesn't really matter which way you do it, but this is as good as it gets. And here's another one. And look at it. I've still got the buds. It will flower tomorrow for me, so I'll be able to see what kind of flower this particular plant is. Just fresh as a daisy. And the way he's wrapped it is 101 out of 100. So well done to this swapper. I won't name the person because I don't think it's nice to name them, but what he has done is a great job. So I've received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants. Has fitted in quite nicely in this size box, and 500 grams you could probably fit in about 6 pieces, and if you want a lot of space you go for 1 kg bed. In this case both of them have gone for a 1 kg box, and this particular person she took this to the post office, and the post office did all this work for her. So it's good on post office if they can help you out getting the packages to you in one piece. Do try to use them at the desk, and they will do everything possible and advise you how to box them and how they should be sent. And now I'm opening this particular person's box. I've just cut it, and this is how I do things, and this is exactly how she has done it. And she's got a couple of layers of just this paper, same as this particular person. He also had layers of paper on top, and it's just moisture retaining stuff that you do. Look at it. This is how I like things done, and this is exactly how she has done it. Fresh as a daisy. And I like to show things where I receive things the way I would send it to a customer. And I would also like to mention that some of these cuttings are really gorgeous, a gorgeous size, thick 1 centimeter, nearly 1 centimeter sizing. And this will take no time to start rooting, give it nice roots and things, and it will just take off. Whereas if it is a skimpy, skinny, legless branch and short about this much, it's very hard to get them going. This is another lovely one. She's also left a flower for me to have a look. Now, how beautiful is that? Here's another one. And the flower is still fresh as a daisy. This is what I like to see when I receive things. Of course, I also like to see how my customers also get some of these things. Just lovely. So I've received quite a few from this particular customer. So now I've spoken about receiving parcel from Australia Post. This is the condition you would expect to receive them. And of course, you need to know how to wrap them and how to post. Now I am going to plant them. I'm so excited. It is just like Christmas has come early for me. Thank you for those 2 swappers that have done a wonderful job. I am really, really very impressed. Now this is the one that I am going to, now I don't have small pots to put them in, so I have chosen a little bit bigger, but I don't have any trouble with pots this size to get rooting started, so cuttings going, so I don't mind. Over here, as you can see, I have already done my mixing of the soil. I have used cacti mix. Do use them, because the more different type of soil you use to get rooting going, the better for your plants. So I just use about 3-4 different types of mixes, really whatever I can get my hands on. So I use this so that there's a better drainage, because of grittiness that cacti makes a lot of little grits, like little stones and chips and stuff. I like that for the to use it, getting the cuttings going. And also, don't hesitate to use the food potting mix. I've used here Yates potting mix, which has plus dynamic lifter, but you can also buy the professionals potting mixes, which is the premium quality potting mix. There's really no difference as long as you use them really good quality soil. You shouldn't have any problems. But if you prefer to strike your cuttings adding perlite, you're most welcome to do that, because it is a good aeration material that you can use. I certainly don't use it because of the cost, but if you like to cut the cost, this will still strike without using perlite. A lot of nurseries do. But if you like to follow what they use, that's fine. This is just homemade stuff. We do things, you know, the more our own garden style, our homemade stuff, how you would do it and still get strike happening and rooting happening. And mine, I never lose as many. Mine is usually 90 to 95% strike rate, so I don't really go into too much effort of getting perlite. But if you prefer it, do use it. Now, these are all my soil mixes here in front of me, which I've got premium quality soil, I've got cacti, succulent mix, and I have also got dynamic lifter, a bit of dynamic lifter. I haven't yet added, but I will. And just put this one, this is the other chat's stuff here, so I'll use this one from Victorian one. I'll plant this one first. Now to use, don't hesitate to use, I have used dynamic lifter with slow release fertilizer together this time, as you can see. So I will just put them in as well, because I do like my dynamic lifter and slow release. I really find it that it helps me getting things going, and it's good for everything really. It's good for things happening in the soil, and once it all strikes, it's really nice to see. Now I've mixed it all in, and I'm just going to pick some of this soil, and I'm just so excited receiving some of these plants and start to plant them. You know, it's one of those things that you look forward to in your mailbox when you go into town and check your mailbox, and you've got a lovely surprise waiting for you, and I just love it. Okay, so obviously, I think this has got a name, I hope. Oh yes, it has. Okay, so I will rename it again, but meanwhile I will cut them in. This is only one bit, so I have to be very careful with one bit. I have to make sure that it survives. Normally I like to send 2 bits. If one dies, you know, you've got a hope of another one surviving. But if I'm careful, it's a good, nice, thick plant, I should be all right keeping them alive. And amount of water, because it's winter, I won't overwater it. I will just give about a 1/4 cup of water in it and no more. So to give water, just a little bit, not too much, and probably won't give it for another 2 to 3 days, and that's all the water it will require, no more. So that's one done, and I'll just keep going doing the similar thing as you repot them. So the idea is receiving plants in a healthy, good, thick stems to be able to get the roots happening. And if you've got skimpy, really skinny ones, try to ask the seller if they could root it for you. It's always important to have it rooted if the cutting is just too slim, you know, sometimes it just wouldn't strike. And always watch, you always need to make sure that you've got a little node where things will happen. So she has cut it just below the node, so I'm hoping that the new root system will happen just there. So it's really good. I don't use hormones to get my roots started. If you like using hormones, do so, but I don't. I just plant it straight in. And this particular one did not have a, oh yes, it does have it, so it's inside. Should have a little, I will rewrite it, and meanwhile I'm just going to plonk this in to speed up the process. So pack it in nicely, and here's another one. This is a beautiful double or rosy leaf type. This is probably one of the favorite one of mine that I wanted to swap with this particular person. So this is the plant that actually got me going to inquire about swap. So I better look after this one really, really well. It's one of my favorite plants. But I won't leave the flower there because all the energy would go into the flower. And I'll just cut a couple more leaves off it because I don't want too many leaves. So that's pretty good. And it should have a little I can't find it. Oh yes, I've got it here. So sorry. This is this label. So I've stuck the label there, and it's cut at the right place, just underneath the node. So just plonk them in here. There we go. There's 3 done, and I will have to make sure that I don't leave it outside in the frost. It has to be in a covered area, and I will be showing a bit of sunshine because it would require sun to develop roots, and watering when it needs it. Really speaking, I shouldn't be watering because this soil is actually damp. So I'll just have to make sure that I don't overwater it, otherwise you will end up getting stem rot or root rot, and you will at the end lose it. So it is very important in winter not to overwater or watering when it's necessary. Here's another nice lovely rosebud type of plant. I really like rosebud. This is just a beautiful flower, and I can't wait to have it in my garden. This is a little label which I will relabel it, and the day I have planted these plants, which would be really lovely. I've got 2 of these, so I've got more hope of at least one surviving, which would be good. So just make sure that the bottom is nicely cut, and this one is just under the node, so it should be pretty good. How beautiful is that? So I'll just have to wait for them to survive. And the last one but not least is this beautiful steph variety. Over here in Australia we call them steph, but overseas gardeners and collectors, they call them by Stella. It doesn't really matter which way it gets called because both are correct way of saying it, Stella or steph. But you may like to know that this steph variety type of pelargonium was hybridized and planted by an Aussie. So it's a very much of an Australian plant, all the steps. It originated from Australia by Mr. Both, I think, if I'm correct. If you look at the history of steph, it would be under his name, guy who got it going. And now I am planting the ones that I received from Queensland Swapper. I'm very happy with his cuttings. I'm very happy with the way he has actually put all this together. And you can use aluminium foil around the stem if you wish. There's nothing wrong with doing with aluminium, but I prefer it with glad wrap, because as the other customer did with a glad wrap, because it just molds it or mounts it around the stem area, and you wet all these paper towels and stuff, and the moisture retains into this, and then you wrap it with the glad wrap. But some of them use the aluminium foil. There's nothing wrong with aluminium foil, and I prefer the glad wrap, as I said, because it's just the moisture retention is a lot more consistent, I find anyway. This is lovely. I'm just gonna chop this leaf off and this leaf off, and it is quite a long plant, a long stem, and it is quite a good size. I really love it how this particular customer has done this. It is the long bit, but I want to cut that to have it just underneath the node, because that's where I'm going to get the rooting, just underneath the node. And this is how I will be planting his plant. It's just so fresh. It just looked like he picked it out today and just posted it to me today, and I've just got it delivered. That's how fresh as a daisy the whole plant looks. So thank you so much to my swapper from Queensland, and I will let him know that I have made a video of his plants, because he will be delighted to know how they have come here and how delighted I am to plant them straight away. Now this one is, I can't read without my glasses, I'm sorry, but I'm sure they are all nice ivies that I did inquire about, and this is what I've got. Ivies are easy to strike, you know, it will strike with a little bit, but he has given me such a beautiful branches, and it's a long branches, not just 1 inch or 2 inch, but 4 to 5 inches, and that's what I would expect when I do a swap, is a good 4 to 5 inch in length cuttings, because it gives you a lot more hope that the plants will recover and root well. Okay, I think I should stop there, because there is few more to plant, and I will be doing this. I just love this variegated plant one. It is one of my favorite, and this is the reason why I went for a swap, because I am a collector of variegated and I am a collector of fancy leaf plants, and I can't wait to plant this one. I think if I carry on, it will make a really long video. So you know what I have done, more likely I will water them. I'll water them in 2 to 3 days time, when I can see the soil on the top is a bit dry, and keep it somewhere in the shade, not so much the shady area, in the protected area from frost. That's very important in winter here in Victoria. All the best, and I will see you later on. Good night. Bye for now.